Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In the last video, I said that I would like to try something kind of fun concerning the contraption project. As many of you know, if you've watched previous videos, we toured in this engine and discovered some serious problems. Pistons scored, rings are stuck and scored, bad shape. Thankfully, the bore is beautiful. Other than needing a light honing, there's no scratches, there's no pits, so that's in good shape. So anyway, I stated that I'd like to include viewers who choose to do so, if they'd like to help me in a parts search for this engine. No, again, like I said in the previous video, I'm not asking anybody to give me anything or send me anything. I just thought it'd be fun if I could collectively get viewers to help me search for parts. I think, you know, from all over the country, you know, people have different contacts. They know people, they know, you know, their old counterman from back in the day that may know of a stash of parts, that kind of thing. Kind of a network, you know, of information. And so what I'm going to do is give you some specs or some stats and some measurements and so on and so forth. And then over the next 2 or 3 weeks, you know, those of you that want to go out and search for parts, let me know in the comments of this video what you find. And then that'll tell me if I'm able to get parts and so on and so forth, so we can move this project forward. If it doesn't work, it's no big deal, because like I shared before, I have a backup engine. I just thought it would be neat before I cash it in on this one if we could try and save it. So, first of all, this engine is a Yanmar S, as in Sam, 65-CE, or Charlie Echo. It's a single-cylinder horizontal diesel. It's 6.5 horsepower, and it's rated at 2200 RPM. Now, there's a label plate attached to the block that had all that information in Japanese. Well, fortunately for me, my next to oldest grandson is studying the Japanese language and culture in school. So I sent him a picture of that label plate, and he interpreted it for me. So, yeah, that was quite helpful. But the key here is that it's an S65-CE. I'm assuming that's the model number. Now, in addition to the parts search, what I would love if somebody could help me find the specs for this engine. The clearances, you know, like the rod cap bearing to the crankshaft journal, the specified clearances, you know, what the tolerances are, wear tolerances on that journal, the bore, that kind of thing. If not, I think there's standard tables available online that would give me generic tolerances, which should be good enough. But if I could find the specifics for this Yanmar engine, that would be great. So let's get down to the nuts and bolts of this. The piston diameter, now since this is Japanese, it's metric. So I'll give the metric measurement first, and then the corresponding dimension in imperial, or thousandths. The piston diameter is 79 millimeter, or 3 inches, 125 thousandths, 3 1/8 inches. The number of rings on the piston are 4. There's 1 oil ring and 3 compression rings. The length of the piston skirt from the top of the piston to the bottom of the skirt, from here to here, is 79 millimeter. Again, 3 inches, 125 thousandths. Let's see, the wrist pin diameter this guy right here. That's 26 millimeter or 1 inch 30 thousandths. The compression ring land width, compression ring being the bottom ring here, that width of that land. Oops, I'm dropping everything here. Sorry about that. The compression ring land width is 2.5 millimeter or 93 thousandths of an inch. The compression ring land depth is 4 millimeter or 156 thousandths. I showed you the oil ring. I'm talking about the compression ring up here. Sorry about that. We'll get to the compression rings next. Or we'll get to the oil ring next. Sorry. Old man, losing it. All right. Let's see. Yeah, the land depth. Got that. Okay. The oil ring. Now we're going to go to the bottom ring, the oil ring. The oil ring land width is 4 millimeter or 156 thousandths. And the oil ring land depth is 4 millimeter or 156 thousandths again. And what I mean by land, that's the gap machined, or the groove machined into the piston for the rings. All right. The connecting rod, what I found interesting is, even though this is a Japanese engine, I found a lot of English writing on this thing. For instance, the connecting rod says S75. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably backwards. S75, which tells me not only was this marketed in Southeast Asia, it may also have been marketed in Canada or Australia or New Zealand. I'm guessing on that, but it's possible. Because I found several, including the label plate that was all in Japanese. I had my grandson interpret. There was some English writing on there too. Okay, the rod cap bearings are marked in English as D as in dog, 9, D as in dog again, dash A as in alpha, standard, which tells me that the crankshaft journal had never been turned. It takes a standard bearing D9D-A. The connecting rod journal diameter is 44.45 millimeter or 1 inch 750 thousandths, an inch and 3/4. The distance from the top of the piston to the center of the wrist pin here is 44 millimeter, or again, an inch and 3/4, or inch and 750 thousandths. So I think that's pretty much going to, see if I missed anything here really quick. Compression ring, lands, and width and all that. Oil ring, connecting rod, piston diameter, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I think we've covered it all. So there you go. Some basic information for finding parts. If we can't find Yanmar parts based on those dimensions that I provided, maybe there is a U.S. piston manufacturer out there that would have something comparable on the shelf. So yeah, there you go. Let's go on a snipe hunt together and collectively see if we can find some parts. And in advance, I thank you. Appreciate the help and sourcing parts for this thing. And let's see if we can't save this old Yanmar. If we come up empty, it's no big deal. Hey, it's just old iron, and like I say, I have a backup. So there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good luck hunting. We will talk to you soon. Bye now.